Bless up Electroculture family. Gonna look at something a little bit different, but very much the same today. This is a quantum field broadcaster. This is based on the Hugh Lovel design version, and then I've added a little bit of my own sauce on top with the antenna. It has to be this tall, so this is about 11 feet tall, and then once you put it in the ground, it stands at least 9 feet tall above the ground. This is just to give enough potential difference between the top and bottom plate to get some voltage, and then we increase that quite a bit with the addition of the antenna. I'll show you the top. Traditionally, they'll just have this copper plate. I've added the antenna that is actually on a threaded post, so it can be removed or changed out, or you can add different ones. So we have the copper plate still going to the broadcasting coil of 84 turns that is inside this. This is the upper broadcasting coil. This is the reagent well for that coil. These are circuited wells. You can actually see the bottom of the circuit in this well. And this is an open shared circuit by Hugh Lovel in an edition of Acres magazine back in the late 90s, I think. This is where you'll place reagents, field maps, physical reagents, representatives, rate cards, whatever you'd like to add. Typically the upper well is traditionally carrying a silica pattern, while the lower well would carry a gypsum pattern. This is the lower well. This well is circuited to this bottom part that will be in the ground. There's another 84 turn broadcasting coil inside this well for the ground, for a gypsum pattern, and again, any physical reagents you want to add. It'll go in the ground up till about here, and we're gonna dowse for the location. Okay, so we've dowsed the farm with the rods, definitively found our spot here, marked it temporarily, got the broadcaster, about to dig a hole, put it in up to about here, and you can see that I showed you the top plate. Here's the bottom plate that contacts the ground, and then it's all connected and circuited inside and protected and siliconed up for weather. But okay, so we'll get our hole dug and then we'll put this in the ground. Okay, we got our hole ready. We're gonna orient the broadcaster broadcasts in all directions, so we're gonna orient this broadcaster, because I mounted the antenna on it just like we do our Electroculture antennas, and orient the brass telluric rod to south. So it should sit something like this, and that is right in line south. I'm referencing other antennas that I have mounted. That will be about correct. That'll be how it'll sit. This is how you'll access your reagent wells to add and take away reagents as you desire. All right, so we've got our broadcaster in the ground, our antenna telluric rod oriented south, everything set up properly and how it should be. Now I can gather my reagents, put them in the reagent well, and I'll be broadcasting. So yeah, lots of love. Bless up family. So we're out here this morning to put the reagents in our reagent wells for our broadcaster. We got it installed yesterday evening. Now we're gonna fill up the wells for active broadcasting. We always use field maps in each well to clearly designate our intended area of influence. You wanna clearly state that, because you wanna, number one, you wanna keep the energy from the broadcast where you're intended to apply it. So on our farm here. And also it's responsible energy use, because even though I know this does no harm, that's at the base of everything and it's purely benevolent, I'm not going to broadcast over to my neighbors, way beyond the neighbor's property. I'm not going to force my will upon them. So I feel like, that's another aspect of this work, not to mention the fact that some farms are set up to fail. A lot of conventional farms are designed around failure because they're playing the crop insurance game, and that's nothing less than USDA sponsored fraud, but nonetheless they want to fail, so hey, do you. But that's pure Fosse business and we don't check for it. So we're going to load up our broadcaster and start broadcasting. We're going to start with the lower well. I have dowsed for my inputs privately. This is the lower well here. We're going to put our lower well map. We're going to put a basalt reagent. We're going to use the Love Malcolm Ray card, a radionics rate card from Malcolm Ray, and 2 mineral samples. One is ulexite, it's a hydrous borate, and the other is a piece of moldavite. And this is going to be for the broadcasting to our earth. And then we're simply going to put our cap back on. Now everything is sealed up in that well. And we'll move up to the top well. You can get a peek inside there. Again, we'll put our field map. We're putting our silica pattern reagent in the upper well. Piece of silica based quartz. 2 Malcolm Ray cards. And a piece of aquamarine. And we'll seal up this well. Now our lower well is broadcasting the patterns from the lower well into the soil, upper well patterns into the atmosphere. Simple as that. Lots of love to you guys. Many blessings.